紋どころが目に入らぬか。恐れ多くも先の副将軍。水戸光圀公にやらせられるぞ。一同、質が高い。してよ。
When I talked about Mito Koumon I, I recall saying something like that Mito Koumon II was a better game. I'm not sure what I was thinking there, because Mito Koumon II is the exact same game as Mito Koumon I. The first game was released 1 year to the day before the sequel, and as a sequel, this is basically an expansion pack. Same mechanics, new levels. Mito Koumon was a very long-running television series in Japan. It was on for 42 years, and was a fictionalized version of the life of Tokugawa Mitsukuni, a 17th century court official who in his retirement wandered the country in disguise uncovering corruption. At the end of every episode, Mito Koumon would pull out his medicine case, which had his seal on it, revealing his identity and cowing the villain. The game Mito Koumon II takes the character Mito Koumon out of Japan and around the world. He's in pursuit of the villain from the first game who fled Japan. His quest takes him to the American frontier, medieval Germany, Renaissance-era Italy, 8th century India. What I'm getting at is historical accuracy was not one of the selling points of this game. On every stage, your goal is to gather up all the clues, which will fill up your clue meter on the left, and then report back to Mito Koumon. He'll then confront the villain with what you've found. Now you might ask yourself, why would these villains from around the world care what this old man from an isolationist country has found? And that's something Japanese players have noted as well. In general, the game is more comedically focused. At the start of every level, you're given the choice of playing as Kaku or Suke, two of Mito Koumon's retainers. Kaku fights with his fists and Suke fights with a sword, but in gameplay they're identical. There is a small difference between the two of them. Some clues are only available to Kaku, and some are only available to Suke. There's always enough for one of them to fill up the bar, though. If one of them gets killed, then the other one takes over, and if the second one dies, then you go to the game over screen. There you can choose to continue from the start of the stage again, or if you've purchased a diary, then you can get a password. As you walk around town, you hit A to interact with people, and B to attack. If you hit an innocent person, then they'll cost you a little bit of money. You always start with $200 or marks or whatever the local currency is. And there's a few shops where you can spend that on things like food to recover your health, that journal so that you can continue, and power-ups that will temporarily increase your speed, defense, or attack. Those power-ups only last about 30 seconds, so it's not worth getting them unless you're doing something immediately that will make them worthwhile. You can also buy charms that will protect you from the women that will grapple you. They're by far the most dangerous enemies in the game since there are no invulnerability frames, and as long as you're held onto them, your health will just drain away. Most of the human enemies will run away if you hit them too many times. You'll have to chase them down if you want to talk to them. A new feature in Mito Koumon II is that you can present evidence during the conversations. Press select after a line, and you can show the person that you're talking to an item that you've picked up. Those come in handy for the final confrontation on each stage. Among the humanoid enemies, you'll find some that shoot a long-range attack at you. Sometimes when you kill those, you'll get a bowl. And the animal enemies on each stage may drop a pinwheel. Those are items that let you change out your character. You can press start, select the pinwheel or the bowl, and then hit A. The pinwheel transforms you into the ninja Yaishichi. He has a long-ranged attack and can jump. You use that to get into windows so that you can eavesdrop on people. He can also jump over some obstacles to get to hard-to-reach places. The bowls transform you into Hachibe, the drunken fool who will stumble into things. Hachibe is also able to access the gambling games around town. Both Yashichi and Hachibe are on timers. Their health drains away as they run around, and when they run out, you go back to your original character exactly in the spot that they were standing when they transformed. There are a few new things about Mito Koumon II. beware of water, because you'll just fall in and die instantly. You can no longer walk diagonally in this game, so your already slow movement is slowed down even further. Only 2 other characters besides yourself can be on screen at any given time. So if you're looking for someone in particular, you can just scroll people off the screen to get somebody new. Mito Koumon II is not a very strong game. The mysteries aren't that interesting to solve, and it doesn't even have strong appeal for fans of the television show. It's remembered for being a weird, silly game. This is the final Mito Koumon game too, even though the show will be on the air for another 25 years after this. I don't think they stopped because they decided they'd achieved perfection.